CTV Community Television presents the Focus Program, hosted by Paul Dingaman.
Welcome to another edition of the Focus Program. My name is Paul Dingaman. I host this program, which appears Marine City, St. Clair, and all through northern Macomb and all of St. Clair County, and we welcome you again. Very interesting show. We're going to talk a little bit about Santa as the program progresses here, but it's been so warm, the retailers have got a heck of a problem because they're not selling any warm coats or anything, and Santa Claus is going to be here in November 20th. We'll hear from Sue Daniels and her committee in a minute or two. Also, Deb Johnson is along, and we're going to talk about important things with her again. But let's begin the show with a friend by the name of Robin and Grace Hanrahan. Welcome to the Focus Show. And you told me before we started we've never had you on before.
You have not.
Oh,
no.
I apologize. I apologize. You wear a huge hat with a wonderful organization called K.I.D.S, K-I-D.S, ... Kids in Distress, which was started by a young lady back about 2004, 2005, somewhere in there, Jane Robinson.
13 years ago.
13 years ago.
Yeah.
And you came along not so long ago, and tell me what's happening at Kids in Distress. What a great organization.
It is a great organization. Kids in Distress is on target this year to serve nearly 17,000 children.
It's a staggering number.
It is a staggering number. It's St. Clair County, and if you think of how many people live in St. Clair County, 17,000 encompasses seems nearly every child.
Right.
So,
and how does that happen? Why are they? Who do you serve? I mean, I guess you're not. The kids in affluent areas are not coming to you.
No.
It's people that have got trouble, right?
Distress comes in many forms. Distress could be health, could be tragedy, fire, any type of disaster like that. But most of all, it is young families who have 2 or 3 or 5 or 6 children who have a median paying job, $10 an hour, and they just can't make ends meet.
Okay.
So what Kids in Distress does is we take all of your donations and we wash them, mend them, we either repurpose them or we recycle them. And we make sure that every child that comes through those doors they don't go without. Right now we're short on coats, so that was the big deal, looking for
Well, you're
coats.
getting ready for winter like everybody else is.
Right.
My reference at the beginning of the show about being so warm that retailers have to be just pulling their hair out, not selling coats, but it's going to be here.
That's for sure. And we don't want to wait until it's too late where a child has to run from the house to the bus or is standing with the, sometimes we see these children that have hooded sweatshirts from an older sibling and hand-me-downs, and they all deserve to have a nice warm coat, mittens, hat, boots, things like that.
People could just not walk into your facility. They have to be referred by an agency?
They sure do. Anybody can be a referring agency. You could be a doctor, a minister, a nurse. You could refer if you see there's a distress in the family. Anybody can be a referring, but they just can't come in off the street unless, of course, there is some type of a tragic event. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we need a referral, and we do keep track, and you do need an ID to come in there so that we can keep track. You are allowed to come every 30 days.
Okay.
But with a new referral, you can't use the same referral. So somebody would have to see that there'd be a need again in 30 days.
Okay, that's good checks and balances.
Right, yes.
And when I come as a 6-year-old boy, what do I get?
Paul, you would get everything that would fit in your drawers in your closet. You would get 8 outfits. You'd get
8 okay.
Oh yes, we want you to have 8 outfits. 2 dress outfits for church or for a party, Christmas event, holiday event. You get pajamas, you get sweatshirts, you get a coat, boots, shoes, mittens, hat, and we always give every child new socks and new underwear.
Wow, so you purchase those?
We do.
Those
yes.
are not handed in by other people and you wash them?
No, that's just something that every child gets brand new.
If the fellows, I think, have got the website there, they can throw the website up. But what is the website? www. Kids in Distress Services. And just put that into Google and it'll pop up for you.
Correct.
But you started to tell me about the lady that designed the front page there. That's just
That's a testimonial to our secret volunteers. She was one of many women that is dedicated to keep our warehouse organized, and she has many talents, but one of them is painting, and she put that together. And each one of those little backpacks is actually backpacks that this community did donate to kids in distress. So she did copy that, but. Isn't that just beautiful?
Oh, it is beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And the kids spell it K.I.D.S, and it's just great. And they're all hand in hand and arm in arm. They're just having fun.
That's
which is,
right.
Is the thing. And I like the dog down in the corner there too.
Little puppy.
All right. So your immediate need is coats for winter.
Coats for winter.
You'll take anything, but the immediate need is coats. Or how about cash?
Cash, we love to have cash because then we'll go buy the socks and underwear and any desired sizes. The little boy sizes, we have a hard time keeping coats and jeans.
Okay.
And if you just figure, every other age range goes home, takes their clothes off, changes or whatever. But little boys between the ages of 6 and 10, they sort of annihilate everything that they have. So that's the sizes that we're either short of or we have to go buy.
That's a great description.
It is.
Of what they actually do.
That's right.
They annihilate it. Give me the location so people know where they can drop it off.
Kids in Distress is located across the street from Pine Shores Golf Course, which is 1117 South 7th Street. Yes. Okay. And the doors might be locked and it might say that we're closed, but somebody's going there every hour, 24 hours a day, where you can, safely say that we have a drop box there. You can put things in the drop box.
It's on the side of the building.
Or call me if it's convenient. I'll come and pick it up. And I say that all the time. I'm picking up stuff every day. I'd love to.
That's wonderful. All right. How else can people help?
We need volunteers.
Okay.
Certainly.
And what would a volunteer do?
Volunteer could pick what they want to do, but we do anything from checking people out, because it's just like a store. These children are coming in, or they could do laundry. They could be at the back door sorting all of our donations that come in. Somebody could do laundry, hang it up, organize it, clean. And what's really nice about this organization is you can give an hour, or you can give 4 hours 3 days a week. You can work 7 days a week. It doesn't matter.
Good.
We will. There's never a time that we can't use you.
Okay.
So.
Well, I think if people go to visit and see your facility, they'll just be overwhelmed, because it does look like a retail store, and you've got everything organized in sizes, and men's departments, girls' department, infants department, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
So it's
Well, you're right about that. I encourage people to take a tour, because you have no idea until you walk in that building. When the people walk in, they're like, really?
Yeah.
This is unbelievable. You just can't even fathom it until you walk in there.
Right.
And back to the children's clothing, it is up to 2X.
Okay.
Because we serve up to age 19, and kids are big, and so we do take up to size 2X.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, it's been a remarkable story. I know the television stations in Detroit have covered it, I think, too.
Right, and we do have the drop bins now.
Yes, tell us, bring us up to date on that story that was on the news.
Well, we had most of our collection bins were stolen, and we were on TV.
Just unreal that somebody would do that.
And we only had them for like 2 weeks.
Right.
And it took us like 18 months to save up for these. So they were stolen. We got on the news station in Detroit, and then I got a phone call from a man who was in the collection bin. That's his line of work. So I met him up here, and I took him through kids, and he said, I can't believe somebody did that to you. I am going to replace them and give you even more.
Isn't that marvelous?
So something good, we got a blessing out of it.
Yeah.
And since then, he just wrote us a check for $2,500.
Oh my God.
Yes, isn't that beautiful?
That's wonderful.
And he gave us about 100 coats.
Oh my God.
So something very good came out of all of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Did they ever find your other ones?
No, and believe me, there was quite a search. Marysville, St. Clair, went to Canton. Canton police found the man who they think stole it. He had the truck that had other containers, but the only ones they couldn't find were kids in distresses.
And what was he doing with them when he stole them?
I guess he outsources them or finds other places. They scrape the paint off. And,
oh my God.
But anyways, we're blessed because we have twice as many now.
Yeah, that is. That's a marvelous story.
Yes,
and
it
a
is.
great end to that story.
That's for sure.
Right. Robin, Grace, hand in hand. Keep
Thank
it
you,
up,
Paul.
you guys. And I know you got a great board.
Yes, we do.
That,
We're looking for board members too. If
Okay.
anybody wants to step up to the plate, and it's about an hour a month.
Mm-hmm.
And we love people that can give us community contacts, and I'll put your little mind to test.
All righty, Robin, Grace,
All right.
we will have you back, and please give our best to Jane Robinson.
I sure will.
She's a great lady.
Yes,
Great
she
lady
is.
that started it all.
That's right.
We'll be back with other great ladies in just a second. We're back with Deb Johnson. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you, Paul.
Welcome back to the Focus program.
Thank you.
You said that November is a big month for what?
Well, it's Epilepsy Awareness Month.
Okay.
It's also the month of the Great American Smokeout.
Oh, right.
And those are the two big things.
Okay.
It's also Thanksgiving, of course.
Well, we're going to have a little turkey on that.
Exactly.
Let's start with epilepsy. It's a disease that you hear about, and then you don't hear about it, and then you hear about it again.
Well, it's a brain disorder that
Okay.
involves seizures. It's a result of abnormal electrical activity in the brain. And there's several types of epilepsy that a person could have, and they have different causes, symptoms, treatments. There's like major grand mal seizures, full body involvement. There's petit mal seizures where sometimes a person just might be sitting there staring, and you don't really know what's going on. That can be a seizure also. And actually, about 2.5 million people in America have
Wow.
epilepsy, and which is like 9%. Oh, and also, in addition to that, about 9% of Americans have at least one seizure in their life. So sometimes people have isolated seizures for some reason or another and don't really have epilepsy. Epilepsy is a little bit different. So basically, let's see, I don't know what.
Well, I heard you this morning on Paul Miller's show or commercial
yeah.
that was run, and it said something about lie the person on their side. I don't remember hearing that before.
Oh, that's
and
a
don't
good.
put anything in their mouth. I always thought you put a pencil in their mouth.
No, that is a fallacy. And a long time ago, people used to think that when a person was having
Yeah.
a full convulsion,
Cut
they
their
would
tongue.
choke on their tongue or bite it off or something. But sticking something in their mouth could actually cause a lot more damage than any
Wow.
good it could
I'm
ever
glad
cause.
I heard that.
Yeah, and so actually, yeah, the best thing to do when a person's having like the full body convulsing, if you can, you try to lay them, get them down on the floor, like if they're in a chair because you don't want to fall out of the chair and
Right.
hurt themselves. So you lay them down and you have to be careful because you don't want to restrict movement as it's happening. So you would, try to lay them down, put them on their side. If you can, sort of cradle their head. If they're wearing glasses, try to pull the glasses off because they could get broke or cut them in the process, things like that. So
But
yeah,
laying on the side seems to calm them down.
no, it's just to help keep the airway, I think, and all
okay.
that stuff. So it's just, I don't know. I learned that a long time ago too because actually I have a son that has epilepsy.
Wow.
So I am very familiar with seizure care. And so another thing that you want to do is you want to stay calm when somebody's having a seizure. You want to time it. And I think this might be different for different people, but I think a general rule of thumb, if it looks like it's going past 5 minutes, call 911 because it could, that could be problematic. So it might be different with different people. Some doctors might say call sooner, call later. I don't know, but I know with my son that was always the rule. If it looks like it's gone past 5 minutes, call EMS.
Does it last a lifetime?
For a lot of people, epilepsy does last a lifetime, but it can be controlled with medication. And there are things that you can do in terms of taking care of yourself that can help reduce the number of seizures you have. Things like, getting enough sleep, managing the stress.
Simple stuff.
Yeah, simple stuff. Managing the stress in your life. Not consuming lots of alcohol. Those are probably or other drug use, things like that. Those could bring seizures on, especially in people with epilepsy. And I remember once the neurologist when my son was getting to be about 18, he said, "Do you know what the #1 cause of kids having seizures in college is?" And I said, "Probably drinking." And he said, "No, it's not. It's lack of sleep." Stay,
Oh,
you know, like pulling,
yes.
like maybe an all-nighter to
Yeah,
study. Can
yeah.
be a great kid, really,
Or
you
play
know.
cards, one of the
Play
other.
cards, whatever. Study and play cards, but a lack of sleep is very problematic for people with epilepsy. So anyway, so those are some of the things, you know, that you can do if you have epilepsy. And people with epilepsy can live completely normal lives. They can have it controlled. Some people never have the breakthrough seizures, but some people do, and they're harder to control. And again, there could be, like I said, there can be a lot of reasons why that happens, including, did I say missing your medications?
No, you didn't.
But that's certainly can cause, because it's important to maintain the right level of the anticonvulsant medication in your body. So,
And of course, if you want more information on epilepsy, you can contact Community Mental Health.
Yep, you can go on our website too, because it's also, this is a time where you might want to learn, if you don't know epilepsy first aid, which is just basically the things I told you, but if you don't know those basic things, some people tend to like, oh my gosh, and get, you know, really worked up about it, but you really need to stay calm, and it's best if you can not have a big crowd around the person, because often they're embarrassed too when it happens. And so it's not that there's anything to be embarrassed about, but anyways, but it's just better if something happens.
Right.
You don't have a crowd of people staring at the person. Yeah, so those are, you can get some tips on epilepsy first aid on our website, and hopefully people will learn a little more about it this month.
Also, the Great American Smokeout, I wonder how many years that is.
How many years it's been going on?
Yeah.
Gosh, I don't know. Do you?
No, I'd say probably 20 years, I bet you.
And yeah, it's probably been going on for quite a long time.
And it seems to have worked.
I think it does help. And actually, so if anybody would like to have help making a quit plan for themselves, you could stop into our office, 3111 Electric Avenue in Port Huron, anytime on November 19th and talk to one of our tobacco treatment specialists, they're called. They've taken special training for, it's called tobacco cessation programs, and they'd be happy to help. There's also a lot of websites, especially if you go to well, Michigan.gov has a lot of stuff on there too. There's a lot of quit lines and websites and things like that. But we're also happy to help and provide all those resources to people. So that is November 19th, and there are some things, you know, I don't know, I mean, you probably know a lot of the facts about smoking and why people shouldn't, but.
Well, yeah, I mean, it ruins your health, period.
Yes.
No other description of it.
That's true.
And it leads to diabetes. And
actually, we were talking about that earlier, but yeah, I think people are, I can't remember the percentage, more likely, I don't know if it's a 30% more likelihood if you smoke, to get diabetes, obviously lung cancer, other kinds of cancer. There's pulmonary issues, COPD, which is chronic obstructive pulmonary disease.
But the thing that just staggers me is the cost of how I was a smoker for years, but I quit, 20 years ago, 25 years ago. But now when you go into the grocery store or the Speedy Q, those kinds of places, and you see somebody paying as much as they do for one little pack, I mean, it's staggering.
It is staggering, but probably, especially having been an ex-smoker, it's one of the hardest things to quit. It's one of the biggest addictions there is. They say it's even a worse addiction than things like heroin, things like that. So, because it's not only a physical addiction, it's also a psychological addiction. So it is definitely one of the hardest things to quit doing. But there's a lot of great resources out there to help people.
Good.
Yeah.
And they can get a hold of Community Mental Health and take care. You've got to run off to a district soccer game, right?
Volleyball.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The St. Clair Saints against the Marysville Vikings.
Oh, that's a big one. That's
my new school against my old school.
Yeah. All right. So that's Deb Johnson running off to a volleyball district tournament, and good luck to both teams. I'll be neutral, and we'll be back in just a second. Santa Claus is in the building. Ho, 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 and a Merry Christmas. Do you like my hat? Sue Daniels and Therese Hawkins. Sue, welcome. The Santa lady. Therese Hawkins, the recreation lady.
Yes.
Welcome, ladies, to the focus set. Sue, let's start with you. so I can take this hat off. It's hot out here under these lights. November 20th is just around the corner. You are beginning to panic like you sometimes have been known to do.
Yes, I do.
Because you've got registration is still open and you would like more floats and people walking through the parade.
We would love to have more entries come in, and I know that the weather has been a factor.
Oh, it's like spring. Why would anybody think about
They were
Santa?
down putting up the garland in shirt sleeves.
Right, sure, right.
It's been a weird fall. But anyway, yes, it is. It's going to be held on Friday, November 20th at 6 p.m. And anyone who would like to enter, they can get an entry form at City Hall or on the city website, or they can call me.
Okay.
And that number has been in the newspapers, and I will give it to you, 329-4498. If they have any questions. We do have some entries, quite a few that are entered, but we'd really like to see some more. They've got to start thinking Christmas.
Right, that's tough.
They're not
When it's
thinking
70
Christmas.
degrees out.
That is correct. And
Although they have this problem in California and Florida every year.
but they're used to it.
Yeah, they're used to it.
We're not. We're used to freezing out there.
Right.
Yes, and we have something new this year in that the Chamber of Commerce and the merchants have come aboard to help us. And in the new Plaza Courtyard is where the refreshments are going to be, and the businesses are going to be putting stuff out. There'll be stuff donated and also for sale, so that after the parade is over and the program's over, they can go over and just partake of the goodies over there. Yes, and we're very happy to have the chamber on board.
Good. Yeah, that's good. Pat O'Connor does a good job.
Yes.
So if they need any information, 329-4498 to become involved. The parade will start up here by the old St. Clair Middle School and go down towards Vine Street to Main Street.
Right. It'll be the same route. Yes.
Okay.
It's just 6th to Vine to the stage, and we do have the county stage again right by the statue. And so we want to remind the people that the parade does not go all the way down to, some people go all the way to Clinton thinking it's going to go that far to see Santa.
It just
and
ends at...
It ends at J Street,
Right.
because we have all the units turn in on J so that they can disembark in the mall for the protection of all the people, the children especially.
Oh, great. That's good. Safety idea.
Yes.
All righty, and that is Friday, the 20th of November, just a couple weeks from now, and the parade itself will be 6 o'clock. So
That's correct.
everybody should come down. And
Santa will
hopefully
be there,
Santa
and Santa's wife will be there.
Oh, Santa's
Mrs.
wife
Claus.
too, good.
Mrs.
Good, they're
Claus
both
is
coming.
going to come this year.
Good,
And the elves will be back,
wonderful.
Of course.
and the reindeer.
And Christmas Carol, what have you got going?
I have recreation programs.
Okay.
And what I'd like to say is, in the fall we put out our brochure, and we have a lot of programs that continue. It's fall, winter, spring. So our swimmer size program,
Yep.
that's ongoing. Just keep going, take a break at Christmas recess, and then we come back. Same thing with our pickleball program, our card playing, Zumba. We're always offering sessions. They're usually 5-week sessions, so if you miss a session, just go to our website and you can see the next one coming up. Same with ballroom dancing. We're actually, for both of those programs, Zumba and ballroom dancing, the sessions are starting this week. We will take anyone, anytime to join the program for that. So all of our information, we always try to feature it on our city website. So if you don't get a brochure or you're looking for things to do, go to the website.
Okay.
We have a couple, then our daddy-daughter dance is
Right.
in February. We're starting to take
Very
registration for
successful.
that. And we're doing a mother-son with a hockey game with the Port
Prowlers?
Huron Prowlers. So we're working on that. That'll be in January. And we're also part of the Michigan Recreation and Park Association Detroit Red Wings group ticket sales.
That's a tough one to say.
That's
Detroit
right.
Red
Yeah,
Wing
I had to
ticket
stop and
sales,
think.
right?
But they have designated dates where if you buy tickets online, a portion of the proceeds comes back to the rec department. And we're working with Port Huron Recreation. We're actually offering a couple of bus trips where we're actually picking up on the Park and Ride at I-94 and Fred Moore Highway, but we're selling the tickets for a couple of games. December 1st is the first scheduled game that we have tickets for, and then there's one in February.
Okay.
So there's a couple of new things that we're doing, and again, like I said,
Well, you've got a very active-
size, Zumba, ballroom dancing. They're year-round activities, fall, winter, spring. There's always a session going on.
And the pickleball has been a phenomenon.
Pickleball has been very popular.
Yeah.
Just amazing.
More.
And
So-
how many
and it's fun.
sessions of pickleball do you do a day?
Actually, right now we are Monday through Friday, 9 to 11 here at the Education Center. And then we have an evening session. Our current session until December is on Tuesdays and Thursdays in the evenings. They moved us back. Our time is from 7 to 9. We're trying that. So sometimes there are changes to days and times. So just check our website and you should be able to find a
How
program.
long has pickleball been around?
We've been offering it for 3 years.
Is it a new sport, or is it a...
No.
It's
it's old?
relatively new. I mean, it's popular. It started out in Washington, the state of Washington. I think it's more popular in states year-round that have facilities, outdoor pickleball play like Florida and places like that. But it originated here in the USA.
Wow, amazing.
But it's a fun sport, and
People really get rabid about it.
Yes, and we all started out as beginners, so don't feel intimidated. Just come on down.
Nobody will look
Everybody's
funny
a
at
good
you.
sport. Yeah.
Great. Sue, go ahead. We've got this beautiful mug here, and Jared, he's over there. Here, I'll turn it over here, Jared. There you go.
Yeah, those are antiques.
These are antiques. Does that help? No? We got
And
it?
that's what Santa sends down the
There we go.
cocoa
Turn
in
it
them
this way.
for me. Yep.
And these are beautiful.
He's winking,
These are
yeah.
beautiful little cups.
And just a reminder that this year we're giving out plaques to the winners
Okay.
instead of trophies because people are running out of space
Right.
to put trophies. So
Yeah.
we're going to award plaques to the
And
winners.
you had schools, you've had industry, Cargill and people along those lines.
And the scouting groups.
Scouting groups. So it's a little bit of everything, whatever you want to do.
Oh, we just
fun.
invite everybody to come on in. I don't just decorate, and it's lights, lights, lights.
Okay.
That's the main thing. We want everybody lit up. And we also, that didn't sound too good, did it?
Yeah, Murphy's in the
Yeah,
Voyager.
that's the
Appreciate
afterglow.
After the break.
And so does Mike. They go down there too. He gets a lot of business out of it. And the St. Clair High School Band is back with us.
Okay. Good.
So-
Oh, good. Yeah, because sometimes those bands have conflicts with concert
With Disney.
evenings and,
Well,
Disney
Disney,
and other
yeah.
things. Yeah.
Mhm.
So. All
I would
right. Go ahead.
say the other thing, the applications are available at City Hall and they're on the website.
Yes.
City website, if
Good.
you want to just look it up.
And they can just stop and get their entries. They don't have to worry about sending them in. Just fill them out there.
Christmas Carol, nice seeing you.
Yes.
Santa's helper, see ya. That's about it. Ho, ho, ho from little Paul here, and I've been a good boy all year, so I get to wear the hat once a year. Till next time, Paul Dingeman. See you soon.
Tune in again soon for another episode of Focus. Make sure to check CTV out on www.watchctv.org or like us on Facebook.